when I was on your website the first time reading your story, I came across, and I made note of it, I came across the part where you mentioned at one point you had a conversation with a priest that said, and I wrote it down here, it said, you should feel blessed to be chosen for this.
Yeah.
I suspect at the time that was probably a difficult statement to hear.
Yeah.
What did you think of it then versus what do you think about that statement now?
Yeah, so it was actually, a priest did say that to me, but the one who really said that struck out was Senator John McCain when I was coming back from treatment. So I'd been back here for a few weeks since the accident, and they were taking me down to the burn unit, and they brought me back to my home, and they opened my home, and my parents are there, and there's John McCain sitting on our couch. And we have a family friend who knew the McCains, and he had heard the story and was kind enough to come over, but he had this really candid conversation with me that day, and looked me in the eyes, and he shared his story a little bit about how there was two types of people in the prison camps, and most of them just wanted to die. It was miserable. They wanted to end. And then, so there's a few like him and a few others that decided they were going to use this as like an opportunity, and they're going to embrace this pain, and they could imprison us physically, but they could never imprison us mentally. And when we get out of here, we're going to use these scars to do great things. And he looked at my hands, and he was just really candid and said, this is going to be the hardest thing you've ever gone through, and it's either going to make you or it's going to break you, and it could break you. But if you make it, it could be the greatest thing that ever happened to you.
Wow.
And it didn't sound like wow at the moment.
Right, exactly.
But it was
I'm sure that was hard to. I'm sure that was hard to kind of get your head around at the time.
For sure, but it was powerful coming from. I mean, McCain was more beat up than I thought he would be physically, and to see and hear him telling me this story, it meant a lot. And anyways, he taught me, opportunity or adversity. What do you say? The only difference between adversity and opportunity is an attitude, and so, but I think that decision was kind of forced on me. I didn't really have much of a choice.
Right.
But,
well, you had the choice of, like you said, let it make you or break you. And,
and it did. It almost broke me.
I could
lot of nights,
see how.
yeah.